That might be right, though, because it is a 5:30.
Yeah. Huh. I thought they were going to.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to go early with the senior day.
Correct.
Tonight, they take on the Lander Bearcats in Peach Belt Conference action. First up, it's the women's contest, and Luke Winsel, it's going to be a tough task for the Bobcat women. They've got nationally ranked Lander here at 22-4 overall. They've only lost one Peach Belt Conference game this season. They're 17-1. They knocked off the Bobcats earlier this season by 40 points.
Yeah, Scott, and their defense is what makes them lethal. They turn their defense into offense, and they press really well. That's going to be something Georgia College will have to deal with today, and likely there will be some struggles at certain points in the game. We've seen Georgia College at times this season handle pressure well. At other times, it's been trouble in the way that this Lander team is so athletic, so composed, and so well coached. 20 turnovers might be a possibility for Georgia College today. Will they be able to overcome it? Will they be able to take care of the ball? That's our question today.
Well, they had 22 against them last time, and they average about 18. So hopefully they're going to be able to hold on to the basketball. They've got scores all over the place. The Freshman of the Year candidate here in Passmore, Player of the Year preseason for them in Harris. So they've got a lot of weapons.
Well, they're a fantastic team. They're led by their three players at the very top, Tabitha Daly, Jessica Harris, and Zamaya Passmore, all of which average over 15 points a game. They have one perk of their game that's somewhat spectacular, to say the least, whether it's assists from Passmore, three-point shooting from Harris, or just overall high-end scoring, near 20 points a game out of Tabitha Daly.
And now you got a Bobcat team that's lost 8 in a row, trying to bounce back here. Had struggles against North Georgia, another nationally ranked team last Saturday. They played pretty well against them. I thought that they had maybe one of their better turnouts in that ball game.
I would agree. When you look at this Georgia College team having to play some of their deeper players due to several players being out at times or out for the year, you don't have Anaya Cones. You're playing a lot of Dakota Williamson, who wouldn't normally get that many minutes, starting a freshman, J.C. Bowen, and the way that Georgia College has talent here and there and players that show flashes here and there, to be able to pull it together and put together a good performance against a team that's one of the best in the country. I thought it was very impressive. It's a good step forward. It shows, hey, against a team like Lander, there's a good chance they'll give a good first half today.
I hope that they get off to a good start here, and anything can happen when that happens, right?
Right. Exactly. The start for Georgia College will be important because of the pressure Lander puts on. it can feel like it's suffocating you, and it can turn a game and put it out of reach as soon as the first quarter.
Well, let's see how the Bobcat women can do here against the Lander Bearcats. The Bearcats #1 in the conference, the Bobcats last in the conference as we head into the final home game of the regular season. And we'll have that for you in just a minute here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Back with the Inside Centennials, we get set to tip this one off as Georgia College comes in at 5-21, 2-16 in Peach Belt play, while Landers 22-4 overall, 17-1 in the conference. The Bobcats will wrap up their season Saturday when they play at Augusta. That'll be a 1:30 start for the end of the campaign. It's Lander, North Georgia, Clayton State, and Columbus State, the top 4 teams. Time now for our Senior Day presentation. Got to widen the angle on this one. You got lots of folks in the midcourt area. Congratulations. Dale brought a bunch of folks with her. And congratulations to the lone senior for Georgia College in basketball this year, as Dale gets the framed photo, and we appreciate all her efforts. The young lady from Tifton at Tift County High School, nursing major here at GC. All-region player and an honor grad at Tift County High under Julie Connor, who used to play here at Georgia College as a Lady Colonial. So a very brief senior ceremony as Senior Day is wrapping up at Centennial. We'll be getting our national anthem, and Luke will have the starting lineups for you in just a little bit as well, as game one about to get underway here between the Bobcats and the Bearcats. These two teams played back on the 29th of January, and it was all Bearcats as they won 86-46. Georgia College shot just 28%, had a whole lot of turnovers in that ball game. Time now for the national anthem. And there's your national anthem as we get set for Peach Belt play. Here's Luke Winstill with the starting lineups.
We'll start with the visiting team, the Lander Bearcats. Starting number 3, Anaya Jester, freshman guard. Number 4, Sarah Cruz, sophomore guard. Number 11, Zamaya Passmore, freshman guard. Look for her as a point guard to be a huge contributor today. She has 118 assists on the year and puts up 15 points per game. Also number 20, Jessica Harris, senior guard from South Carolina. She's their top 3-point shooter. And rounding out their starting lineup, number 24, Tabitha Daly, 16 points, 7 rebounds per game. She's incredibly efficient, 65% from the field, a senior forward out of Augusta, Georgia. Watch out for her, one of the top players in the Peach Belt Conference this season.
Yeah, she wound up with 16 points and 7 rebound average coming into tonight. Had 22 and 8 against the Bobcats back in January. Bobcats getting introduced. Very distinct difference in the crowd, at least the crowd size from Saturday with homecoming all filled up, and now we've got a minimal amount of folks here for the Bobcats today.
Well, starting for Georgia College, business as usual, Harper Vick, Dale Attaway, Kenyatta Storms, Kiana Wesley, and J.C. Bowen. Not too much different in the lineup for Georgia College. Now, in that first matchup, the third string for Georgia College put up more points than the first and second almost combined.
Yep.
So when you look at players like Ashley Davis putting up 8, that was the second most on the team, and Delaney Rotolo with 14. She was 4 for 5 from 3. So it was one of those games the first time that was dominated by the third string unit.
Dale Attaway gets the tip on senior night, her final game at Centennial, and GC underway, headed to the north goal here. Man-to-man defense, as you might expect for the Bearcats. They'll just press you right off the bus. Trying to get it up top to Bowen. Has to go chase it down, and a pass on the wing thrown away. So first turnover by Georgia College to get things going.
Yeah, we'll expect a decent number of turnovers today. Now that matchup up top that you were getting a look at, Daly versus Bowen, that'll be a good test for the freshman.
Get it into Daly here, and Attaway forced her to take a shot she wasn't comfortable with.
Attaway is going to have to be huge defensively today to keep Georgia College in the game. They're going to look for Daly early and often here.
GC works it on the wing to Attaway, back straight away to Vick. Harper delivers it off to Storms. KK drives, got an open shot. The defender slipped just a little bit. Looked like Cruz was trying to get an angle but couldn't quite come up with it. The Bobcats with a 2-0 lead.
It's a great beginning for Georgia College, getting down inside, making a simple, easy shot. It should help you offensively get into a rhythm.
Get some confidence working. Here is Jester. She'll get it back up top to Cruz. Back to Jester. She'll take a shot inside the arc, and it won't go, and Attaway gets the rebound for GC. Now here's the pressure of the backcourt. We'll throw it ahead and get it up to Wesley. Key back around the perimeter, so the Bobcats handle the press nicely that time.
Very composed. I'm very impressed. I mean, that's how they should do it every time. We'll see if they can make it and do that consistently.
This Lander team forces 23 turnovers, and we've got a foul called on Passmore. She'll get the first foul charged in the contest, as she was a little too tight up against Harper Vick.
Right, we know Lander's an aggressive team. They're very athletic. They're going to get up in you, and those fouls come when you play that type of style. They're trying to set the tone early here.
Here's Wesley. Vick with a high post, and a pass picked off, and then they throw it away. It should be out of bounds for the Bobcats, but the trailing official says it is Bearcat basketball.
And all-female officiating crew today as well. Something we don't see too often, so it's pretty cool.
Harris drops it off to Passmore. And the basket is good, and the foul is called.
Very impressive off-balance shot, just getting the ball up. Wasn't a hard foul, so Passmore had an opportunity to try to square that elbow before she would get called for too much continuation, and they wave off the shot.
Foul on Wesley, her first, team's first. And to the free throw line with an even 100 free throws is Passmore, and she missed it. She was 65% at the line and came up short on her first effort. Now they press on the miss. Triple teaming. Now get it ahead to Wysocki, who checked in during the stoppage.
Well done again.
Wysocki on the left wing. Works it between two defenders, lobs it low to Attaway, and GC throws it away again. Picked off by a Passmore, and then they throw it away. So both teams having a hard time holding on to it in the early going. And that'll suit the Bobcats just fine, thank you. A 2-2 contest. Wysocki, who had just 4 points against Lander the first time, rolls one up there and falls to the floor. And here come the Bearcats. They'll push it ahead to Cruz. Back around the perimeter. Jester loads up a three, and it's strong. Rebound by GC. Harper Vick into the corner to Wysocki. She'll dribble up on the wing as we're under 3 minutes to go in a 2-2 ball game. Storms has her pocket picked. And here come the visitors as the Lander Bearcats. See Harris drive down. Back up top, Cruz for three, bangs it in. 26 three-pointer and 85 tries for the sophomore from North Augusta, South Carolina.
Yeah, Georgia College all over the place on that play defensively. Wysocki's trying to create a lot here. She's got to get settled in a little bit more. The team's not settled in offensively. She might be, but offensively, Georgia College isn't clicking well enough for some of the plays she's trying to create.
Quindasia Hamilton will check in for Jester. The only change during the substitution here. As the Bobcats will have to get it across the timeline in a hurry here. Harper Vick throws it long, and it's picked off. Passmore with the interception. Stepped in front of Wysocki. Passmore takes it to the rack on the right side and missed it. Bowen gets a flat-footed rebound. Splits some defenders, loses the basketball, goes to her knees, and Lander gets it back again. Bobcats losing their composure as well as the basketball a lot here. And a blocking foul at the south end on GC.
It looked like early on Georgia College had found a spot in the press they were hoping to exploit down here on this left side corner. They got it a couple of times, and now they haven't even been able to really get it past midcourt. So I think it's just about trying to move the ball a little better. There's too much dribbling in this type of press break right now. You just got to move the ball crisply,
Right.
Get it inside that three-point arc, and then work your offense. Then you dribble it around, and then you settle in.
It's Jessica Harris at the free throw line, 74% at the stripe for the senior. Preseason Conference Player of the Year. Hits them both, and it's a 7-2 Lander lead on a 7-0 run by the Bearcats. Pressure in the backcourt again.
You can see they're not comfortable at all.
Vick fires it ahead on a wing. They go for the steal, can't get it. Harris missed it. Back out to Storms. The GC try to create in the half court. Into Bowen. Bowen double team, puts it up short. And that's Daly with a rebound. And then it's lost out of bounds off a Bobcat.
It was a great matchup for Bowen, but there was good help defense on the play that made it tough for her. Good find from Storms down low as well. Credit to her.
So Lander will bring it to the south end with Passmore. Gets it off on the wing to Hamilton. She'll pop a three, and nothing but net for Quindasia Hamilton out of Waynesboro and Burke County High. Her 33rd three-pointer to fall and 102 tries.
This is part of what makes Lander so impressive. They hit 13 threes in the first matchup. This is what they do. A great shooting team against Georgia College.
Going for the pick again, but Vick holds on to it. Driving, working right side. Ball knocked out of bounds off the Bearcats.
Harper Vick will not get anything today. She's going to have to be running off picks all day.
It's similar to what JT was doing in the men's game on Saturday
Correct.
against North Georgia. He was running 12 miles just to get a shot. Inside to Vick, and she is fouled quickly by Cruz. And Sarah Cruz gets her first foul, team foul number 2. And that'll put Harper at the free throw line, where she's 106 out of 135, 78.5% at the stripe for the sophomore from Marietta. And her first effort's going to roll off the rim. At the start of the season, she hardly missed at the stripe. And now the misses are becoming a little more noticeable. And there's another one. GC can't get the rebound. Attaway battling for it. A 10-0 run by the visitors. Harris tries to make it even more, and Storms gets a rebound. Midcourt to Wysocki. Bobcats broke the press pretty quickly there.
What's hard here for Georgia College is you're 5 minutes in and you've barely taken a shot. You've only taken probably 3 shots the whole game.
Yeah, you've got twice as many turnovers as you've had shots, I think.
Gosh.
Haven't seen a stat yet. We've got our media timeout at 4:40. Maybe we'll get the stat for you at the break here. 10-2, Lander all over GC. Back in a minute on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Well, it is confirmed. The Bobcats have 3 shots and 6 turnovers. Not a good ratio.
That's right, Scott. I mean, you said it, and I was like, you know what? I think he's got points, and then we look it up, and you've got 6 turnovers in 5 minutes of play.
Ouch.
That's where, when we talk about in the pregame show, one of the first things we mentioned was that it's a suffocating pressure attack. Can't even get down to get shots off. That's obviously the biggest key here for Georgia College. They're going to get pressed all game, so I guess maybe today is a really good practice for trying to break the press for the future. It is a young team.
Yeah, very, very young team, obviously, with just the one senior, and Dale, of course, not a ball handler, so these young ball handlers are getting some lessons the hard way against the Lander Bearcats. Jester brings it into the front court. They get it off on the side of the lane. Now back up top. Cruz drops it into Harris's hands, and she'll fight her way up for a shot. Man, did she want that one.
She took a jump step there. They call her for the travel on that because her gather step was an extra step too many. And you see how fluid the offense is for Lander. They're up 8, cruising early. They move the ball well. They're crisp. They're very quick on the offensive side, which is really important.
Bobcats break the press with a lot of dribbling, more than probably necessary. Vic to Storms. Storms working on Jester. Gonna drop it into Bowen and throw it away. Turnover number 7 already. Harris with a one-on-one against Wysocki. Pulls it up too long. And Attaway got the rebound, and a foul will be called. And charge that one to Hamilton. That'll be her first foul, 3rd team foul on Lander.
Attaway is one of the top 5 rebounders in the Peach Belt Conference, number 4 in defensive rebounds, number 5 in total rebounds. She's been a huge contributor, generally quietly, to the Georgia College team this year.
Yep, she's the leading rebounder for the Bobcats after Mallard stepped out in the first part of this 2019-2020 campaign. Wysocki loads up a triple, and it won't go, and the ball tipped out to her, saved at the midcourt line by Wysocki and Vic. Good effort there. A 10-0 run by Landers got him an 8-point lead. Wysocki puts it up and missed it, and a foul on the rebound. It will go against Lander, it looks like.
So Georgia College in the first 6 minutes had 3 shots, and Wysocki on that possession had 2 shots. For Georgia College, I think we are getting to the point where they'll begin to settle for threes just to be getting shots off here.
I think Jester's going to be charged with that foul. That'll be 4 on the Bearcats. Attaway holds out near midcourt, drops it off to KK. Storms with 7 seconds. Floater up, missed it. Bowen got the rebound, sticks it up there too strong. Good effort on the offensive glass. Doesn't pay off though. Harris wide open 3, drains it. 56 3 balls on the year have fallen.
There's 4 above average 3-point shooters in the starting lineup for Lander. You can't guard them all. Sometimes it's just going to happen.
Our 3-pointer is Vick, and she missed that one, and a rebound taken by Lander.
Those are the only shots Georgia College is getting an inch of room to shoot on today.
Back up top to Jester. Here's Harris again. Harris off the back iron. And Harper Vick gathers in the rebound. Bobcats got the first 2 points of the quarter, and that's been it. And Lander has gone on this 13-0 run. There's a pick. All by herself is Jester with a right-hand layup. Anaya Jester, the freshman from Griffin. Coach Ross Jolly was singing her praises in the pregame meeting that you and I had with her. Out of Spalding High, and she just gets the job done. Averages a couple of steals, 2 assists a ball game. Bowen from downtown missed it. And a rebound by Amayo Melvins.
It was much better creation from Storms on that play, finding Bowen. There'd been a couple of times where they tried to force it to her down low. Trying to get it into Bowen right now is going to be almost an automatic turnover the way they've been guarding the paint. So finding different ways to get JC the ball, I like it. I like Storms with her head up, creating well. Not a bad play, just a missed shot.
Williamson and Copeland come in for Georgia College as we get under 100 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's been a nightmare for Georgia College, as you might expect against the nationally ranked Bearcats. Shot up short by Jester, and it's tipped out of bounds. It'll belong to the Bobcats. I just really find it amazing that they have lost a ball game this year. I mean, they did lose to North Georgia. They are still in first place. North Georgia has a couple of conference losses as they split the regular season series between the two schools.
It's almost like an all-star team that we're playing here. Look at them up and down, especially their top 3, but then their role players are so strong. You don't see the depth they have too often.
Baseline jumper up too long by Attaway, and a foul over the back on the rebound. It's on Bowen. That'll be 2 on her, I believe. No, I'm sorry, they put it on Williamson.
Oh,
hard to put it on Bowen if she's not in the ball game, Scott.
Yeah, we saw a 4-point quarter from Georgia College on Saturday. We might be in line for a 2-point quarter the way we're going here.
They get it on a high post to Daly. Swing it back to Jester. And a right wing 3 won't drop, but they get an offensive rebound by Conjay. Back up top, Harris wide open, had all day and had a chance to have a Coca-Cola before shooting that one. And it's 18-2.
Yeah, stands on the line, knits a scarf, and then shoots the 3.
Another steal. Gracious, the turnovers are stacking up here. There's a running layup by Passmore. A 20-0 run to start this first quarter. GC trying to get one more shot off before the quarter ends. Here's Copeland, and she has the ball poked away. 2 seconds left, and a shot by Jester is a prayer that's not answered. What a quarter for Lander. 20-2. Lander on top, and we'll be back on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
What you've gained as a student will be just as important to you as what you did as a player. As long as you know that you made the effort to do the best of which you're capable, there's no failure. Success on 3.
There are over 400,000 NCAA student athletes. And just about all of us will be going pro in something other than sports.
So the Bobcats find themselves down in a huge hole as we go to the second quarter. The Bearcats gave up the first 2 points of the quarter and then said, okay, that's enough, and really took it to the Bobcats with a lot of turnovers forced, a lot of mistakes by GC.
Yeah, it was rough. We don't have the official stats in front of us yet. They're working on that right now. But oh man, That was a rough quarter, Scott. I mean, a 2-point quarter, I think, tells a lot of the story. I think we're looking at either close to or at a 10 turnover quarter, so turnover a minute from Georgia College. They just need to improve everything, to put it simply.
Lander on the attack to the south end with Passmore. Gets it off to Jester. Back to Passmore. She's going to line up a three. A little bit long. Nice offensive rebound. Stick back by Conjay. Doesn't drop in. And it's fumbled out of bounds by GC. Bobcats could not reel that one in as it rolls off the south baseline. No changes in the lineup for Coach Jolly as he's keeping the same five out there. Actually, Bowen did check back in. Conjay is going to take a long one and miss the long two. In and out, and there's a steal. Trying to get an outlet pass to Copeland on the wing. You can see shoulders are slumping already for the Bobcat women. The Bearcats will not back down on this pressure. A held ball called. GC's got it on the possession arrow still.
Yeah, Georgia College still has 30 more minutes of this to deal with. It's going to be a tough task today. It all starts with the rebounding, which has been a bright spot for Georgia College, but can they build off of that? And they should be able to.
Copeland scoots in, passes it out now to Wesley. And there's going to be an offensive foul on Wesley as Harris got position, drew the charge. So Kiana gets her second foul already.
You got to get inside somehow, and if you got to knock the other player on their back, then that's one of the best drives of the basket Georgia College has had today, to be honest with you. And it wasn't a legal play.
We have played a minute, just about, and still no further damage, which is the good news. Back up top, they'll line up a triple and kick it out strong. But they get another offensive board. Back to Harris. She'll dump it into Conjay, and she'll roll it up and score.
It's a hard player to stop as a freshman. Already, I mean, the development's going to be off the charts for her, looking at the height and the type of strength and body that she's got. It's a great duo right now with her and Daly both in the lineup.
Ball slips out of Copeland's hands. They get it inside. There's a charge called as Dale Attaway, Storms took the charge, and the foul is put on Jester. That'll be 2 on her.
Georgia College is a much better team than they showed in the first quarter. I think that much is, you can assume. And they're getting to start to play like it, and it begins with plays like that that can build you a little bit of momentum to try to push that ball forward.
Wysocki gets it across to Copeland. Copeland, baseline pass, and a jumper by Bowen, and the Bobcats are on the board.
Good sequence from offense to defense, building up. I like the bounce pass from Wysocki, something we don't see often in the press break from Georgia College, but a very smart play. You find Bowen, it's maybe not her shot, but she's able to hit it. Well done.
A lot of times with those balls in the air, they're easier to be picked off and deflected. The bounce pass is much more effective, and there's a jumper for 3 by Passmore as she nails her 19th of the year, freshman from Locust Grove High School. Coach Pedersen has just loaded up the lineup again in the roster with a lot of young, very good talent.
When you have this many freshmen that can contribute for you at this magnitude, you're going to be the top team in the conference.
Copeland has a block by Conjay. That's her 8th of the year. Ball stripped out of their hands as Passmore lost it thanks to Bowen, and it rolls out of bounds. And we'll go back to GC. Here comes Harper Vick back on. And they will get Cruz on the floor for the Bearcats.
Conjay's already having a solid season, but I'm confident she's going to develop very well. Should be a great player at Lander.
Miriam Ricarte from Spain is on the floor, 6'2" sophomore. She leads him with 45 blocks on the year. That's 2 a ball game, just under it.
They recruit Georgia well, and then they recruit the entire world well.
Yes. That's just not fair. Vic to Bowen, corner 3 rather, is good. So J.C. Bowen finding some range here as J.C. knocks her 7th down of the year.
It's 5-5 in the second quarter. Much better.
They drop it off. Conjay with an easy jumper.
Yeah, well done. A lot of the plays down low have just been so easy. Just easy finishes. Georgia College has got to try to tighten up in the lane. I know the three-pointers have been killing them, but defense starts in the paint.
Vick on the attack, trying to get around Harris. Spins in the paint, loses the basketball, and here comes Harris.
Harper,
They lead the charge, and a three-pointer up off the front rim. Harper got the board. Vick approaches and attacks. Wysocki's three ball won't fall, and there's Ravel with a rebound, a freshman from Apex, North Carolina. She'll get it off to Cruz, get it inside. Kanji again got the shooter's bounce off the front arm. Everything's working, huh?
She's proven my point. She's a very, very talented player down low. For Georgia College, on the other end, I think Harper Vick's got to realize she might have to take a back seat today and just be a creator. All of the attention's on her, so it's good of her to do what she did on the last possession and try to kick it out.
Storms free throw line jumper's good. Kenyatta Storms scratches, and the Bobcats trail by 20.
It's a much better quarter, both offensively and maybe defensively.
Board's got her at 4 points. I thought that was her first basket. Cruz back around right side to Ricarte. Here is Harris. Harris flies it up there and scores off the glass. Man, you're going well when you can fling it up there, and the backboard cooperates.
I knew she was a shooter. I didn't know she was that much of a slasher. It's a nice move.
Back up to Vick. Vick was open momentarily, then she decides to drive and puts it up strong.
Wysocki, with her passes and vision today, has been showing off creativity that I don't think we've seen enough of from her this season. I hope she can build on that.
Cruz got Storms in the air and missed the running layup. GC gets the rebound. Bobcats have had some flashes, but that first quarter, when you're down 20-2, it's kind of hard to come back from that. Bowen launches a long three and missed it.
Heat check for JC on that one.
Yeah, JC averaging 27% from downtown, and there's a long two to make it a 33-9 lead for Lander. Wysocki looks behind her, see if anybody's coming up on her. Double team now, throws it up here to Vick. Vick comes inside the arc, long two is good. Harper gets her first bucket.
Well, Georgia College gets their offense going a bit. You have Bowen hitting shots, Storms hitting shots. It opens things up a little more, and Vick's able to step in and knock down a long two.
Cruz will dump it inside to Ricarte. Backs up, puts it up and missed it. Bowen will track it down. This one got ugly in a hurry, and it continues to be ugly for the Bobcat women, unfortunately.
I was concerned about that in the pregame show, about things getting away too early in the game to where it's just too much of a hole, and 22 points might be that.
Shot partially blocked as Vick saw it sail out of bounds, and that will get us to our under 5 timeout. We will have Copeland and Macy Carson on the floor when we return, as Georgia College trails big to the Lander Bearcats. And we'll be right back on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Well, the Bobcats have been their own worst enemy. They've had 14 turnovers, and I'm sure that Landers had a bunch of steals on top of that. And they, Bearcats, have a 22-point cushion right now.
12 steals.
In addition to 14 turnovers.
Well, 12 steals for Lander, 14 turnovers from Georgia College.
Wow.
So Yeah, I am reading the sheet correctly.
Sarah Plemons is checked in. I thought it was, yeah, Macy is on there too. So we've got third stringers in already for Coach Ross Jolly. A backup long two as the air horn sounded, and it was an air ball.
Not a good possession at all.
Lander works it inside. Daly back on the floor. It'll be an and one. Tried to get around Macy Carson, and Macy couldn't move the feet quickly enough. Tabitha Daly with a bucket. And Macy gets her first foul. Women's scores for you with 2:03 to go in the first half. Flagler on top of Clayton, 15-13. 9:30 to play second quarter. UNC Pembroke over Francis Marion, 13-11. Aiken leads Augusta 13-12. That's with 7 minutes and change left in the first half, I should say. Pressure again, forcing it out.
I'm curious to see the ball handling here because Copeland is one that's prone to turning the ball over. She's very quick on the offensive side, which is great, but also she turns it over a good bit, and Wysocki has been pretty decent today on the ball. We'll see.
Wesley drives, gets it off to Macy Carson, and Macy misses it. But GC with an offensive rebound, and it's Plemons trying to squirt through a couple of defenders and missed it. Here come the Bearcats. It's Harris driving, and the layup is really long. Back outside, Ricarte with an air ball of a three. North Georgia keeping pace with Lander. They're up 25-12 against Young Harris and Georgia Southwestern in the second quarter, leading 13-9 over Columbus State. Plemons kicks it out on the right wing. Here's Wesley all the way in, rolls it up. Nice drive that time by Kiana.
Beautiful. The left side was open. The defense wasn't quite covering that part of the floor very well. Wesley identifies it, and she's able to get a pretty simple shot. Those have been hard to come by today.
Daly defended nicely by Macy Carson inside. And GC gets another crack here with about 2 minutes to play before halftime. Plemons tries to drop it off to Carson, and Carson couldn't handle a pass on the north baseline. Delaney Rotolo had 14 points to lead the Bobcats against Lander, is on the floor for the first time. The junior from Peachtree City and McIntosh High.
It's a career high, isn't it?
I believe it is.
It was big for her. I mean, 4 or 5 from 3. We know she's a good shooter. We see her out in practice and pregame all day, knocking down those shots. Look for her to try to get some looks on the perimeter.
Kange with the three and a foul on the ensuing rebound. It's going to stay at the Tabitha Daly charged with that one. GC will get it back again. Bobcats put Ashley Davis in.
Davis had 8 in the first matchup. She was a very important player. We'll see what she can do in the lane. She's more of a driving type.
Davis will take a long shot. She didn't hear you that time, Luke, I guess.
She also didn't hear the team's 1 for 10 from 3 today.
Yeah, it's been that kind of a night already. Under a minute and a half left. And a foul from behind as Daly posted up on the left block. Got pushed from behind by Sarah Plemons.
Now Lander also started out 5 of 13 from 3, which will do you a lot of damage, about 40%.
They float one up and miss it. Bobcats now with 6 fouls, so last to give before the bonus. The board hasn't kept track of everything tonight. Right side, Plemons squares up for a 3, and it's no good. She was 5 of 10 from beyond the arc for the year.
Unless it's late in the clock, I really don't like the shots from beyond the arc today from Georgia College.
Yeah, especially 1 for 11 now. Daly got the bucket over Carson, and Daly just abused Macy, unfortunately, inside there. And it's 38-13. Lander romping on the Bobcats.
Yeah, part of that with Daly being one of the top, I mean, she's pretty much a lock for first team all conference as far as I'm concerned. So when you have that combined with a third stringer on the last place team in the conference. It's a tough matchup, no doubt. I think it's good for Macy. She hasn't gotten much time this season, so getting time against a player of that caliber is a tough task to begin.
Test your middle, and we throw it out of bounds. Wysocki was coming back toward the line, and I think Delaney thought she was going to the sideline. So the turnover gives the ball back to Lander. That'll be about 16 turnovers already in the half, maybe more than that. Jumper by Hamilton doesn't go. They get a rebound and stick back and a block. Was that Delaney?
It's Carson.
Carson, okay. GC drives it. Wysocki in the left wing. Takes it into the toward the lane and missed it. And that's Harris with a rebound. And then she calls a timeout because she was prone on the floor. And Wysocki tried to sneak in to tie her up. So the Bearcats use a timeout with 21 and a half seconds to play, and they are up comfortably in this one.
Well,
yes.
16 turnovers and 16 points off of turnovers for Lander. So that's been a big story today. In terms of rebounding, here's a bright spot. I'll tell you the bad, and then I'll give you the good. So the bright spot is Georgia College has out-rebounded Lander today.
Really?
Out-rebounded 17-18, so it's a small margin, but I think it's really impressive considering Lander's noted as a good rebounding team on the scouting report.
Yeah, very much so. They come in with a +2 on the boards, while the Bobcats in their rebounding are a -1.5. So GC getting the job done on the glass, but these turnovers and these steals have been turned into points.
And 6 points in the paint for Georgia College in the second quarter. Solid effort considering the opponent and considering what happened in the first quarter.
Playing for the last shot are the Bobcats. And the Bearcats with the basketball. They try to get it down low and do to Daly. Now they go to Harris in the left corner. Three-pointer won't drop, and the ball rolls out to Ashley Davis, and Davis can't get the shot off. So that first half is in the books, and something the Bobcats are very grateful for, as the 20 minutes are over and done with. But you got 20 more minutes to go.
What's most impressive to me about Lander is how they can come out and almost get in double figures in assists as a team in the first half. They had 8 assists in the first half. Georgia College had 2. So that's a big difference between the two teams, and bench points is a lot different. 11-0. Georgia College not having a single player score off of the bench, that just tells you a little bit about the depth that we spoke about earlier in the game and just how Lander's such a deep team. They've recruited so well for so many years together, and Georgia College really has not. They don't have that type of talent right now.
Yep, Coach Jolly's got some work cut out in the offseason for GC trying to get back in the hunt in the Peach Belt Conference. So Lander with an early lead and a big lead. They led 20-2 at the end of the first quarter. They've got a 6 to make it a 26-point lead over the Bobcats here at halftime. And we're going to step away. We'll run through the numbers in just a little bit. You're on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Hello and welcome into the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Alongside Ben Carago, I'm Luke Winstill. Thank you all for tuning in. Ben, it was a rough first half for the Bobcats. What are the bright spots that you saw in the first 20 minutes of play?
They weathered the storm a little bit on defensive rebounds. That was the only thing that I saw that we've been beating them on, and they are the 23 ranked team in our conference, and basically it's a tale of two different things. One of them that they've been beating us with the full court trap, and just their size is very major in the inside. So that's the only bright spot I can see. But hopefully we can muster a little bit of a fight in us throughout this second half, and seeing how that goes from there.
What made Landers press so good in that first half? Because they were killer.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is baiting us into very tough shots, and even in the beginning of most games when you watch them, the full court trap is only used when you're down by 4 or whatever towards the tail end of the half or tail end of the fourth. But here they were just going all gas, no brakes. From jump, there was no breathing room whatsoever, and it shows because Harper Vick, she hasn't played up to her standards usually, and even looking in past meetings against them this season, she only had 5 points, and more so could be predicated to that, and not having the home field presence when she on that game. But we started very sluggish, shooting 1 for 10, and in the second half, in the second quarter, did a little bit better. It boosted up the percentage a little bit, but I think it's more so just trying to find ways to do that. They've been beating us on fast break points. They're 9 to our nothing. So if we're able to find a way and see what we can build on this, I think ultimately that's the biggest goal, is seeing that this team is already in contention and is the number one team in our conference, and we are still building up to have that eventually. So
Awesome. Well, we'll head into the second half with Scott McLeod, our play-by-play guy in the Hall of Famer. Thank you, Ben, our halftime analyst here. Ben Carago, I'm Luke Winstill. We'll be back with more coverage momentarily on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
getting you set for second half play as Georgia College giving up a lot of points in this first half. 20 points in the first quarter, 19 points in the second quarter. And Georgia College guilty of 16 turnovers compared to just 3 for Lander.
Lander's been as impressive as they come, and we can confirm, sitting here courtside, they are as advertised as the #1 team in the Peach Belt Conference. Some numbers that all point to paint points are a big differential. Lander 14, Georgia College 6. But the fast break points and bench points to me are what have done it. It separates the strong teams from the weaker teams, and fast break points, Lander 9-0. Georgia College has been unable to get comfortable playing in transition. And off the bench, not a single point from Georgia College. That obviously has to change, likely will change, but you're going to be down 26 when you get no contributions off your entire bench. And you do go, 9 deep? No, they went like 15 deep, almost.
Yeah, just about everybody, I think everybody dressed out who's played in this ball game so far. As Lander just really distributed the points as well. Nobody in double figures for them, with Passmore leading them with 8 points. And just about everybody who touched the floor for Coach Pedersen scored. And GC reels in a rare miss.
Yeah, everyone except for Amaya Melvins has scored, and Melvins has only played 96 seconds in the game.
Steal at midcourt by Passmore. Passmore one-on-one, going to roll it up over Storms.
A little stare down from Passmore after that made layup.
Well, when you're feeling it and you're that good, I guess you can do that.
Yeah, might as well.
I think Coach Pedersen looks for that.
That kind of killer instinct, I think.
Exactly, he recruits that.
It works, doesn't it?
It sure does. The program is just leaps and bounds since Pedersen got there. Driving in, nice scoop shot in the front of the bucket.
I think it's part of when you analyze character. You look at, okay, how much of a competitor are they? And I mean, hey, if you don't want a player to stare you down after they make a shot, then stop them.
Attaway didn't want to take that shot, and instead Wesley's going to knock down a 3. That'll be 33 for Wesley on the season.
Every once in a while, the offense will click for Georgia College. The defense just is what has kept them so far out of the game here. They just have not been able to match up.
Last home game of the season for the Bobcat women. 3-pointer put up by Passmore didn't go for her. And a foul underneath.
This might be the only or one of the few games for Georgia College this year where at all 5 positions they've been overmatched with the other team's offense. Just all 5 positions have an advantage.
Lander wraps up its regular season at USC Aiken, so back-to-back road games for these Bearcats to conclude the regular campaign. Jumper up, no good. Rebound by Vic. Top 8 teams in the Peach Belt Conference make the women's tournament, which starts on March 4th, that Wednesday, a week from tonight. Right now, it would be Lander against Augusta. North Georgia would take on Francis Marion as a 2-7 matchup. Lander clears the miss by the Bobcats. Clayton State's in 3rd place. They would get either Aiken or Young Harris rather. As Vic had it and then got tied up, GC's got the arrow. So Aiken and Young Harris duking it out for 5th place in the Peach Belt Conference right now, with Columbus 4th. The higher seeded teams in the quarterfinals host. And then we'll await word where everybody will wind up for the semifinals and finals, and an offensive foul on Vic. She got a little frustrated with the ball handling and pushed off against the Bearcat.
It's been that kind of day for Harper Vic. It's frustrating because they've defended her so well. She's used to being defended tightly, but not that well, and the only way for her to create space has been to basically commit a foul.
Vic goes out. Wysocki takes her place. Harper, the frustration starting to mount, as you said. They'll dump it inside to Daly. Daly spinning around Dakota Williamson and scoring with ease. As Daly now with 7 points in the ball game.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much no one in the conference can match up with her, and no one on this Georgia College team really comes close.
Attaway back out to Wysocki. She'll dribble drive, push it back out now to Storms. Storms to reset, but we're down to 10 on the shot clock. Tried to get it into Williamson, and she couldn't handle it. Goes into the Bobcat club area.
I'm sorry,
Go
Scott.
ahead.
The creation on the play from Storms was not half bad there. Williamson's got to catch that ball and try to go straight up with it. The guard creation from her and Wysocki has been okay today. It really has been one of the better spots, I think.
Go with a post to Cruz. Jester on the dribble. Now three-pointer off the mark by Passmore. And Kenyatta Storms gets the rebound, but she's double teamed and it's stolen away by Cruz. Cruz tries to save it on the end line. Can't do it, out of bounds. Kristen Copeland comes in for Kenyatta Storms for the Bobcats. Georgia College with 3 points so far, and we've almost played 4 minutes. And Copeland gonna get tied up. Or she might have called the timeout. Looks like she did call the timeout as the Bearcats were ready to tie that one up. We've got our first charge timeout, so it stretches out to a full, and we will take a break as the Bobcats trail big to the Lander Bearcats here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Well, we're trying to get the Bobcat women on fire here against the very strong Lander Bearcat team, nationally ranked squad, coming in at 17-1 and leading the Peach Belt Conference by a game over North Georgia. North Georgia had an easy early lead over Young Harris in their ball game tonight. We'll update those scores when we get them in. As we said, Lander at USC Aiken on Saturday to wrap things up, and North Georgia will be at Clayton State. That should be a good ball game, and there's a 5 count and a turnover again on GC. As we probably hit 20 by now, haven't we?
I'll double check on that, but I don't think there's a method in which Georgia College has not turned the ball over today. You've turned over on out-of-bounds plays, you know, in the half court, in the back court, everywhere.
Harris, pull-up jumper, free throw line extended. She'll go to the free throw line for some charity tosses as Caroline Wysocki gets tagged with her first foul of the evening. Delaney Rotolo comes in for Kiana Wesley. And Harris will shoot 2 at 74%. The senior from Sumter, South Carolina, rings the first one.
She has been really good today. She played all but 10 seconds of that first half. So her plus-minus in the first half was incredible. It's plus 26. She was a huge creator, knocked down big shots when asked to, did everything that she needed to. She's been spectacular.
13 points already, so she has surpassed the amount of points she had against the Bobcats in the first matchup as Rotolo's shot is rejected.
Yeah, that pass came way too late.
And Jester is fouled as she tried to knock it in off the window. And she'll be at the free throw line.
That pass on the other end needed to go to Rotolo before the ball crossed half court because she had a perfect run to the basket. Just give it to her. Let her go.
So Jester steps up, only 51% at the line for the freshman from Griffin and Spalding High, 31 for 61 on the year. And she uses iron and glass to find the nylon. That one missed off to the right side, and here's Williamson with a rebound. Got to get rid of the basketball a lot quicker. They just, when they're wearing blue, they just swarm all over you. There's another turnover for the Bobcats. Harris has it on the left wing. She'll stop, pop, and missed it. Copeland, one of the smaller ladies out there, gets the rebound. She got tagged as Passmore will be charged with her second foul.
Scott, I believe that was turnover number 20 on that last possession.
Still 15 minutes to play in this ball game. This could set an all-time record.
Do you know what that would be?
I have. Those are those kind of records that you kind of forget about. you wipe them from your memory. I know that a John Carrick team had 30-something turnovers one time, which is very rare, and Passmore gets the easy lay-in.
We're not that far away.
Yeah, we're not. I think 33 for some reason sticks out in my mind. And we get it down inside. Sarah Plemons with a bucket. The freshman from Chatsworth gets her first point. She had 11 rebounds against Lander back in January to lead the club off the boards.
A good find from Wysocki on the play. Plemons wide open. Perfect.
There's Passmore, banged in there by Copeland, but no whistle. As the lead is blossomed to 32, and a running layup by Copeland will go. They'll clear it, push it ahead to Daly. Daly takes it against Rotolo and missed it, but Jester with a follow-up. Everything working for the Lander Bearcats. Even Jester at 5'4", maybe that's a generous 5'4", gets an offensive rebound and a putback.
You can't find an area of the game that Lander has not dominated today.
Rotolo at the free throw line, puts it up and in, gets her first basket.
There's an interesting pass fake on the play. It's about a 13-foot shot. You usually don't see that in the middle of the lane, but it was effective, so props to her.
And Rotolo gets a defensive rebound, gets it off to Copeland, and Copeland is going to be fouled by Jester. I've got 3 on her for the game. And they will get Michaela Conjay back in. Also, Amaya Melvins checks in, as does Sierra Ravel. And we've got our under 5 timeout, and the Bobcats hurting right now. It's 52-20, and we'll return on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. Four minutes to go, third quarter. Yeah, that's the third quarter score, folks, 52-20. Bobcats have made some changes as well. Ashley Davis has come on. Plemons and Rotolo stay out, so does Williamson, and here's Copeland dishing it off to Rotolo. She'll back up for a 3, and it's short, and tipped out of bounds by Lander. So that'll help out the Bobcats get an opportunity to score here as they trail nationally ranked Lander big. Discussion amongst 2 of the officials. Maybe checking on the shot clock situation as the ball did go out of bounds. They'll adjust it to 26. Rotolo puts it into Copeland. Chris works it to the top of the circle. Right wing three missed by Ashley Davis. She's 1 for 12 on the season from downtown.
Yeah, Georgia College shooting 12% from three today. I just don't even think that shot's worth taking right now.
Hamilton rolled in and scored.
If you're shooting 12% from a certain area of the floor, I think it's probably about time to stop.
Yeah, you throw that play away. Here's Davis again, back up top to Copeland. 2-3 zone employed by Lander, and the Bobcats can't do anything with that either right now. Rotolo with a long bomb three, and it kissed off the window. Delaney!
That's how you get a team out of a zone. You got to shoot them out of the zone, and Rotolo, I assume, did it last time with her shooting, and maybe she can pull it off again. It's 5 points for her.
Kanje with a three, missed it. Rebound by Copeland. Other scores in the Peach Belt, one there watching is North Georgia on top of Young Harris, 41-25. Minute and a half to go in the third quarter in that one. Shot up block, but Clemens can't get it to go. Tight win Southwestern over Columbus State, 26-25. Third quarter just underway in that one. Flagler leading Clayton, start of the third quarter, 40-38. Just underway in third frame, it's Francis Marion on top of Pembroke, 36-30. And Augusta leads USC Aiken at the half, 26-21. So those are your women's scores right now.
Well, 27 minutes of basketball here, 23 points for Georgia College. I think it tells you a lot.
It tells a bunch. All the mistakes and all the poor shooting, not making the mark against the Lander Bearcats. 2 free throws good for Kanje.
The shooting is just under 30%, but they haven't been able to get shots off, so that's been a big part of this deficit here.
Ashley Davis with an offensive foul. Pushed off, trying to get that blue-clad Bearcat offer.
They stick like glue defensively. It's incredibly impressive because usually even the good defensive teams have a weak spot that you can try to go to, and if they have a weak spot, Georgia College has not been able to find it yet today, and usually 28 minutes in you would know.
Ricarte is checked back in for them. She's got it at the top of the circle. Kanje looking low, delivers it outside now to Hamilton. Back up top to Ravel, and a three ball is good.
They had not hit a three-pointer, I don't think, since the first quarter or the beginning of the second quarter. It's been probably a good 8, 9, 10 minutes since they knocked down a three.
Haven't needed it.
No.
59-23. Nice spin move. Clemens drops it off to Macy, and Macy scores.
Second time Clemens has hit that spin move today. The first time didn't quite work. Second time, perfect pass.
Ricarte with 90 seconds to play holds it up top. Now Kanje. Hamilton. Ricarte. Left hand hook off the glass. Nice move into the basket, into the baseline.
Nice move. Pretty fluid and smooth on that footwork to get the shot up.
Carson saves it from bouncing into our table here. Clemens, excuse me, not Carson. Kiana Wesley knocks in a triple.
Kiana Wesley has a nice mid-range game that when it's on, and she's used it pretty well today. I think she's had 2 of those.
7 points now for Key. Foul before the shot. Blocking foul.
There was a double screen, and it was Wesley trying to fight through it. The screen was almost too good, and Wesley tried to barrel through and does well to draw an offensive foul there.
It's on Kanje, her first.
It was a good play design.
Tipped out of bounds into the Bobcat bench, so the Bearcats will get it back again.
It's a shame this had to be the senior day game, the way it's turned out.
Indeed so. As the Bobcats really struggling all night long against the Bearcats. Got the first 2 points of the night, and then it went south from there in a hurry. A 20-2 first quarter lead for Lander. Ravel with 4 seconds, got to put it up. And there's a shot clock violation. Rare turnover for Lander, giving the Bobcats the ball back.
It's their 5th turnover of the day, compared to 23.
Ashley Davis with 3 seconds left, gonna bomb from long range and comes up short. So that'll do it for quarter number 3. The final 10 minutes of the home season coming up in just a minute. Bobcats trail big on the Bobcat Broadcast Network. The numbers keep stacking up against the Bobcats here. Lander with their biggest point production of a quarter so far with 22 in that third quarter. Georgia College had its best quarter as well with 14 points as the Bobcats shot 6 for 12. So 50% shooting, but just didn't get a whole lot of shots off. Lander shot 47% for the quarter at 8 for 17. They're up to 43% for the game. The Bobcats are 32% for the contest. 24 turnovers for Georgia College with 10 more minutes to go. Nice entry pass. Conjay almost underneath the basket. Able to put it in, and they're still pressing.
She did a good job creating space down low in the post. It was well done to push Macy Carson up into the mid post and then bounce off of her when the ball's played in.
Davis with a drive, off the window a little strong. Conjay with a rebound. So a lot of the youngsters getting a lot of playing time here for Coach Jolly. Bombs away outside by Hamilton. Gwendasia Hamilton from Waynesboro, Georgia, drops in her second 3 ball. She's got 8 points.
Got 7 threes on the day. Most of that came in the first quarter. Since then, Georgia College has been all right defending from beyond the arc.
Rotolo missing that triple. Melvins will bring it down the floor. Deliver it right side to Ravel. Hamilton will pop another 3 and drop another 3.
Impressive. Long range. Almost.
And it's a 42-point lead.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Wysocki back at the free throw line. Jumper won't go. Davis will track down the rebound and has her shot blocked by Ricarte. Ricarte again came in with 45 blocks on the year. An 8-0 run here to start the quarter by Lander. Davis gets it inside to Macy. Macy working away, shot up, missed it. Trying to get it around Ricarte.
Usually that would be a made shot from her. She's good on that left side.
Miriam knocks it in from just about Pamplona, Spain. That was a long shot. Her 13th three-pointer for the year.
She airballed her first one and then comes out and knocks that down. That looked much better from her.
Ravel with the fast hands, poking it out. That's another thing about the Bearcats. They get good positioning. They also have very good hands. I mean, they just get all over you and looking for any chance they can to tip the ball around and tip it away.
You don't get 16 steals in 3 quarters from not having good hands. Yeah, it's a great point, Scott.
Wysocki drops one in from the top of the circle. And Ross Jolly wants a timeout to get some players in with 7.5 minutes to go. Gonna get Attaway back on the floor for her final go round, and that will be our timeout. And it will be, I guess it's still a 30. No, they're gonna sit down.
Well, before the bucket, the scores were reverses of each other, 72-27, and now we broke that up.
That's
yeah.
some positive there, yeah.
If you call that a positive,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know if it is.
One thing that I do like in the third quarter, Georgia College was 6 for 12 from the field. That was efficient. It shows that they haven't laid down. They didn't just quit. They're kind of trying to battle through it here. It hasn't been like they're fighting like crazy, but they're not going away. They're trying to, improve and steadily just get through the game and try to finish as positively as they can.
Again, the Bobcats wrapping up their season Saturday at Augusta. That'll be a 1:30 tip-off at Christenberry Fieldhouse. And then it's on to recruiting and trying to find some players to make things a little better for 2021.
It'll be Coach Jolly's first recruiting class. It'll be his first opportunity to get the players that he wants that fit his system to try to build with. Right now he's dealing all with Coach Mo's players right now, and I think once he gets his own people in, it'll be likely a lot different than a 12th place finish in the Peach Belt.
Attaway and Copeland check in. So does Vick. Vick strips it out of the hands of Hamilton, but it squirts out of bounds. Williamson on the floor along with Davis to finish out the 5 for the Bobcats. As we're under 7.5 to go. They get it inside. Conjay, I think is how it's supposed to be pronounced. I don't think anybody's going to give us any flack. With 7 minutes to play, Attaway between the circles. Off to Vick. Back to Attaway. Three-pointer. Oh, came up short. But GC with an offensive rebound. Dale 0 for 2 for the year in 3-ball shooting.
Yeah, I'd love to see her get some points. She's not on the board yet.
Lone senior honored before the ball game. Ashley Davis fires from the left corner. Came up short on that one.
I love it from Copeland. Good job on the offensive side. The finishing's just not there. Georgia College has not been a good shooting team this year, but I know how this kind of works at the end of the game on senior day. You got to find Attaway, make sure she scores. Every play you should be looking for Dale. It's not like you're going to be able to win the game here, so just, honor her on senior day.
Cons J gets the ball swatted away by Attaway, and there's Ricarte. A lot of A's in there. And Ricarte with a bucket to make it a 45-point lead. This team averages 81 a ball game, and they could get that midway through this fourth quarter. Rolling layup missed by Melvins, but they'll track down the offensive rebound. Ricarte will load it up down low and get it back out again. This is Hamilton on the dribble. Gets it underneath the basket. Consjay missed it, but it's claimed again on an offensive rebound. Shot clock violation. They had several opportunities, none of which worked. And only the 6th turnover of the ball game for Lander.
It's a really good game taking care of the ball, and just goes to show you again that this team has it all put together. They're going to make a lot of noise come the NCAA tournament. I don't see any team in the Peach Belt beating them in the conference tournament. I mean, upsets happen, I know, but I don't see it. Not this year.
It's going to be a tight match between them and North Georgia. They did split the regular season series.
Correct.
So we'll see how that's going to shake out. Depends on where the ball game's played. Ricarte dropped it in from way outside, and then a foul.
Your 6'2" post players knocking down threes that are long for the men's game.
Sarah Cruz, the sophomore starter, comes back on the floor. And they are 2 points away from making it a 50-point cushion.
Not seen that before.
Davis working hard against Ravel. Gets it off to Vick. Vick struggling with the scoring, and she put it up really long that time. Just 2 points on the day for Harper.
Yeah, it was a rushed shot. She had some space to work with, but I think the way the Lander defense works, she knows that wouldn't last long.
Harper had only 5 points against these Bearcats back in January. Three-pointer top of the circle by Ravel is no good. And Attaway is fouled from behind by Melvins. Second team foul in the quarter on Lander. And we've got our under 5 timeout with 4:44 left. And Lander cruising. We'll be back on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.
Change is constant. Technologies, careers, society. Georgia College is not about landing your first job. It's about preparing for success in a changing world. From the moment you step on campus, you have an immediate sense of belonging. At Georgia College, learning takes place all around us. Our students are critical thinkers, ready to graduate into a complex world. Georgia College, your public liberal arts university.
Final 4:44 of the home season for the Bobcat women as they trail by a bunch. And you can capitalize every single letter in bunch. Ashley Davis gets it off to Delaney Rotolo. We got a foul underneath, away from the basketball. It's on Ricarte. Miriam collecting her first foul. She had 9 points and 6 rebounds. 5 blocks against the Bobcats back in January in Greenwood, South Carolina.
Yeah, the length is her biggest and best asset.
6'2", and the arms are about that long too.
Yeah, as a sophomore especially, you can see where she has developing to do in certain areas, but she's shown a little bit of polish today, which I think is really impressive.
I think she just got back-to-back fouls charged to her there. Attaway gets the shooter's bounce. So Dale gets on the board, averaging 2.5 points a contest, 7.5 rebounds a game.
It's good for her on senior day. Her team loves her. The players just absolutely adore Dale Attaway. She'll get a hug here coming off with 4:24 to go.
And that's going to be it for her, I would imagine. Sarah Plemons gives her the big hug, and Coach Jolly hugs Attaway as well. She'll go down the line to accept the hugs from the teammates. You're right, Coach Jolly went out of his way to say how much the teammates respect Dale Attaway and love her. The only senior for the Bobcats this year. Hamilton inside the arc on the drive, gives it up to Melvins. Melvins with a roller, missed it. And a push on the Bobcats. Wysocki in the game for Chris Copeland.
For some reason, I think the third string has done better than the first string today. It's been a weird feeling. I don't know if it's just matchups with, Lander feeling free to go down to their bench as well. I don't know. Both teams have played everybody they've dressed for a good number of minutes today, but the third string's just been more competitive. It's bizarre. Never thought I'd say that.
Yes. Well, it was the case back in January as well. I think the Bearcats got so comfortable and they just didn't worry about the third stringers for the Bobcats. Hence the points by Rotolo and Ashley Davis. Plemons in the right baseline area. Takes the three, and it won't go. That was Rotolo with the shot, sorry. Hamilton from way downtown. Didn't get it. Ricarte got the offensive rebound, though. Tried to lob it low, and Ashley Davis picked it off. Davis accelerates down the left side of the lane, got fouled.
Yeah, on the other end, it was Kanjé that was actually well guarded by Georgia College that forced the ball coming the other way, and free throws here for GC. Yeah, down 46. Yep. No, I'm sorry, 48.
Ashley Davis, 11 out of 15 for the year at the free throw line. Misses the first effort. Sophomore from Westminster High in Augusta, coached by Greg Wilson there. She's a physics major here at GC. All region, all state at Westminster. And she got the second one to fall. Ashley gets her first point of the contest. And they'll airmail another pass out of bounds.
So here's kind of the different thing about this, Scott, is they're continuing to press here when they're up almost 50 points with 3 minutes left in the game. Again, I mean, to me, it's just like if you don't want them to press, then beat them, win the game, you know, but it is a little different here. I think it kind of shows a little bit about their culture. Take it good or bad, however you like, whatever you think there. But just shows they're kind of that killer type of team, the Mamba mentality, don't let off the gas pedal type.
And they've been doing that to everybody just about this year. Three-pointer by Wysocki won't go.
Yeah, they're not afraid to run you out of your own gym on senior day.
On the drive, a held ball called. Bearcats will maintain possession thanks to the alternating arrow. So Georgia College is going to drop 9 in a row and one more game to go for the regular season. Lander, the 2-game win streak coming into tonight, will stretch that with a game at Aiken on Saturday. That has a potential to be a decent matchup. They've got Aiken tied for 5th place right now in the conference at 9-9. Especially on the road, as Lander is 8-3 away from Greenwood, South Carolina. Easy put in by Melvins. And they're going to get their last sub in at the next dead ball. As we go down to the 2-minute mark, Rotolo trying to rub around a pick from Carson. And a foul called on Melvins. That'll be 2 on Amaya. Abriana Washington, sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina, will come on.
Well, Scott, I always like how you give the hometowns in your calls here. And one thing that I've noticed is Lander recruits Georgia really, really well. They've got 6 players here out of Georgia located in Greenwood, South Carolina, so not really far away, but they recruit the state well. They know where the talent is, and we do as well. It's all around us here. They do a great job plucking kids out of here every single year. Their best player, Tabitha Daly, is from Augusta. I think you've mentioned that a couple of times.
Yeah, Coach Pedersen does just a fantastic job of coming and stealing from the state of Georgia.
That's right.
I'm sure there's a bunch of coaches in the state that are not too happy with that, but hey, you got a great program.
Yeah, beats you in recruiting and then beats you on the floor too. It's a great program that's run over there by Kevin Peterson.
Wysocki right side to Davis. Davis goes to the free throw line, pitches it back out. Rotolo from way outside. Spun out of there. Ahead to Melvins. Melvins lays it up. Kanjé is fouled. And we'll go to the line for 2. So the final minute 25 remaining of the home season for GC. Cons J at the line, 62% for the freshman from Douglasville. Graduate of New Manchester, one of the new schools up there in Metro Atlanta. Puts the second one up and missed it. Whistle. Do we have a lane violation?
We do.
We do. We'll get to shoot again.
Yeah, I saw it. I thought it was, yeah, it was.
Yep. Well, if that was a turnover, that would probably have been the last kind of turnover you could ever have, huh? But it's not a turnover.
Yeah.
It's just a chance to shoot it again.
Well, speaking of turnovers, to beat a dead horse, 25 for Georgia College today.
Well, at least they're not. I'm going to
Don't
knock wood.
speak-
Don't speak too soon. Right.
Don't
I
do
won't
it.
say it. I will not say it. Wysocki on the right side. Couldn't get past Hamilton. Pushes it back out to Ashley Davis.
You know it could
Yeah,
happen.
you're
That's
right.
the problem.
Yeah, it could be a flurry of problems. Clemens holds it deep on the left side. Back up top to Macy Carson. Here's Davis with 4 to shoot. Davis has got to try and put it up. Off to Macy. Macy missed it. Rebound knocked around and tripped was Melvin's. And the trip on Clemens. That'll be 2 fouls on Sarah with 53 seconds to play. And almost a 53-point lead for the Lander Bearcats. They beat the Bobcats by 40 last time.
Oh, man.
And this time it's 49? Yeah.
Yep. Might break 50 here.
Carte back up top. Here is a 3 ball missed by Washington. There's a stick back. And there is your 50-point lead, 51 to be precise. GC will try to at least get it under that margin.
I can't get beat by 50.
No,
No.
not in your own gym on senior night.
Oh, no, don't. Yeah, got to get a bucket here.
Rotolo out in the logo. Works around Melvin. Shot foul. Melvin's called for her 3rd foul. She comes off the bench. Whalen, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Delaney up to 7 points. Will be at the free throw line with under 20 seconds left. She'll shoot 2. The lead is 50. Rotolo will try to chip it down to 49.
I will be curious to see if Lander will come back down and try to score.
Missed it. She'll try one more. It was a 3-point attempt. That's her first miss of the year at the free throw line. Granted, she hasn't been there very often, but she's been able to put all of them down. And there is 49. Lander slowing it down. I guess they're not going to take a shot.
I was wondering about that. I mean, if you're going to press and with 30 seconds left in the game, I was wondering if you'd go for it or not.
They're going to hold the ball as the final ticks go off. And Lander celebrates across the way and improves to 23-4, 18-1 in Peach Belt play, while the Bobcat women conclude the home portion of their season at 5-22 now and 2-17 overall. They are now 4-9 at Centennial, and that's how they wind up the home season. With the injuries, lack of depth, and the ball handling issues they've had most of the season, that has been the big problem for Georgia College here in 2019-20.
It's been a really tough year for the Bobcats this year. They've worked through it. They've still got one more game to play, as you said, on the road. And for them, they've just got to really work on improving in every category for the most part. Just trying to recruit well and work your way up. It's going to be a process to build this team up, but now we'll have Coach Jolly.
Yeah, we'll turn around here in just a second and face the camera so you get a chance to see Coach Jolly as GC suffers through one tonight. We'll get squared away here, Coach. Well, it was a tough task to begin with and made even tougher with that first quarter, Coach. We got the first points, and then all of a sudden Lander decided they were going to turn it on and get some points off the defense like we thought they would.
Yeah, we for a little while until the end of the end of the first quarter, we actually didn't do a bad job on them defensively. They were 15 or under, and then we were hoping to get them 15 or under after a quarter. So if you can hold them to 15 or under, that's good. And then they ended up having, a 5-point burst there at the end. So we 2 points won't get it done against anybody.
Yep, definitely so. What sort of positives did you come out of this?
We had good energy. I mean, I think I think we were playing for the right reasons. I think we were trying. I think we tried to, even at halftime going into the second half, I think they were even, even though we're not going to win the game by any stretch of the imagination, I thought they were still trying to make the adjustments that we were trying to make, mainly just to get the ball off the floor and not throw it out of bounds. So they were locked in. I mean, they were trying to do their best there, and they were just, that's too much to handle, that team there. And if you can't put the ball in the basket and you turn it over, it's just you're not going to beat that team.
Well, as you mentioned, they've just had so many weapons up and down the floor, both inside and outside. They've been able to get the job done and then force all those mistakes and get all those steals.
Yeah, absolutely. We turned the ball over 16 times in the first half, and then I guess we only turned it over 10 times in the second half, so that was better. They had 5 in double figures. The scoring was very spread out, so they got 85 points on the board. I'd like to see if that's the most we've allowed all year. So we just can't. If we throw it to them and they shoot a layup, it's hard to defend that.
Well, Coach, you had the one senior. Dale Attaway had a very good career here at Georgia College, and you got her for her last year, her senior year. And I know, as you mentioned in our pregame talk, that the girls just love her very much,
yeah.
and it was very evident there.
Oh, absolutely. I think they're emotional just knowing, even this whole year, they're just counting down the days in a bad way that we're going to not have her just around the team. As far as, does she put the ball in the basket a lot? No. I mean, is she the biggest post player? No, but she's got she's a great person. She works hard every day. She's playing through some, playing hurt a little bit, few games, and doing anything that she can to help our team. But she's been, and this is what I told her is, she's been the perfect senior for me, and I couldn't have asked for, if I was going to have one senior, I wanted to be Dale Attaway. She's meant a lot to me and had a huge impact. I'm assuming the other 3 years that she's been here, but I can't attest to those. But this year, I mean, she's had a huge impact on her team, and just does everything day to day, and is always the same person. It's not up and down, and so I can't say any more about Dale and what she's meant to our program.
That was a nice move. Are you getting her off the floor like that? We appreciate that. I'm sure she did too.
Yeah. That's what we'll do if the game's in hand either way. And
right.
So unfortunately on the wrong side of that, but we want to just recognize our seniors. And one thing that we do as a team, anytime we've got bags to carry or anything like that, we ask our seniors to do it. So if there's stuff to be done, Dale's having to grab stuff and carry it and do things, and the reason why we do that is because they have more investment in the program. So they've been here longer. They've got more of themselves in the program. So we ask them to do those things, and her being the only senior, we ask her to do a lot of that every day, and she does it with a smile on her face, and so we want to recognize her as much as possible, for her efforts, just being a great teammate and a great person.
Well, Coach, thanks for putting up with these post-game interviews this season. I know it has not been fun for you, and you've got one more game to go against Augusta, and best wishes in the recruiting trail for you.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me this year,
sure.
And you've been great, and looking forward to next season in the Centennial Center.
Thanks, Ross.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Thank you. Ross Jolly, the head coach of the Bobcat women, as Georgia College falls in their final home game of the season. And we'll be back in just a few minutes to get you set up for the men's contest. It's all coming up in just a bit here on the Bobcat Broadcast Network.